What is up, everybody? How is it going on? It's Sally from Unix, and welcome to today's AMA with Genopets. So let me check. All good. So we talk about today about Genopets, and we have a special guest for this one. I want to welcome immediately Kevin. Are you there?
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I'm glad to be here.
What's up, Kevin? If it's okay for you, could you please just introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Kevin. I'm the COO of Genopets. I've been with the game almost since the beginning, and I'm very excited to be here today to speak a little bit about the game and answer any questions you might have.
Amazing. Good to have you. I'm really excited about it. I personally have so many questions, so be ready. I think that we will have at the end also a Q&A session with the chat. And dude, I'm a gamer myself, and I think you and me we talked a little bit right before the MA. We talked about our gaming experience, how you started to get into the gaming space, and being able to do this right now in this particular in the crypto space. I think it's an amazing thing. So for the audience out there, where did you start playing games, man? How did it begin?
For me personally, it began, over 18 years ago. A friend of mine invited me over to hang out after school. He wanted to show me something that his parents had gotten him, and it was a brand new PC, and it had the latest StarCraft expansion on it, Brood War. Um, I think I ended up spending the night at the friend's place, basically, just so gripped by the game. But that was my first real taste of, um, computer gaming, of gaming that took place on this device, and it was software that had been designed to give you a very specific kind of experience. And yeah, it's been a love affair ever since. Now the game that we're building is a mobile game, but a lot of the same passion, a lot of the same instincts and the experience and the tastes that I think the team brings to the table are from our personal hobbies and from our personal love of gaming.
Amazing. And before we come to Genopets, one last question: StarCraft one or StarCraft two?
Of course. Sorry, what?
But you,
Oh,
you need to choose
I'm
one or
old
two.
enough. I'm old enough that it was StarCraft one, but
Okay.
I know StarCraft two pretty well. I was a little bit older, but I still played it, and I watched all the pros, so I'm pretty comfortable with StarCraft two.
Amazing. So yeah, let's get into it. What can you tell me? What is Genopets?
Yeah, we're many things. I think at our core, we're a gamified fitness app that built on Solana that requires you to move in order to play or earn. It's like one of my team members calls it Tamagotchi for the 21st century, as in
Okay.
not only does it look way cooler than it has to, but it's actually good for you, which I think is something that we all are starting to want to do more with the technology that we have. It's a virtual pet care and evolution game that combines move to play mechanics with play to earn economics to make it fun and rewarding to basically be more active. We're calling this combined concept move to earn, which has been very popular in recent months. You basically have this digital pet, a Geno pet. It's an NFT, it's unique to you. It's like a Tamagotchi, but instead of grinding actions on a screen to level it up, you level it up by moving, by getting out there and taking steps. And that's really the first way we've done that. We've integrated walking and step counting. So when a player walks, the number of steps that they take are tracked by the fitness tracking app on their phone. And then this step data is ported into the game as energy for your pet. And what you end up with is a game mechanic, a core loop that incentivizes people to pursue an active lifestyle, because if they want to play our game at all, if they want to do anything within our game, and it's going to be a very fun game with earning potential, then you're going to have to move. That's the basis of it all. And then, what does anyone want to do with a cool pet? They want to battle it. They want to go on adventures with it. They want to personalize it. They want to customize it. So those are all the traditional gameplay elements, which we're building on top of the tokenized economy right into the game.
Wow. So you mentioned there's something to personalize it and everything. So also when I was scanning through your website, you said
Mhm.
that depending on actions that we do, right? the pet can have different looks or will evolve differently, or how can I imagine that?
Yeah. So I think what you're referring to is when you mint your pet for the first
Mm,
time, we have you answer a series of questions. They are kind of like a personality test. They
mm,
ask you, questions like act or react, or I think there's one or like explore or conserve, and you just are supposed to answer with your gut, and your answers there do influence the look and feel of your pet. So the one of the cool things about our pet minting process is that when the player mints the pet, that is actually the instant that that pet is generated. It's procedurally generated in that moment from a combination of different parts. So we don't even know what your pet is going to look like until you mint it. But those answers that you give to that personality test will influence. I think there's like a role it plays in the color scheme. I'll have to ask our engineers exactly the ratio within the algorithm, but it does feed into how your pet looks. Now, from there, you're going to evolve that pet through 12 stages by walking, by converting those steps into experience points. And also, you can personalize that pet by purchasing different augments or different parts for it to, if you want to swap out the horn, or if you think that it should have a different sort of tail. Those are the sorts of augments and customizations that down the line players will be able to purchase or craft and then modify their pet with directly. So to answer, to bring it back, yeah, your questions and your responses did influence the initial look of the pet, but down the line you're going to have more direct control over that pet through the augments.
so with all that combined, it's like I will can I say like almost unlimited customizability when it comes to the looks of the pet, right? Different kind of parts. Because I myself, I like diversity, right? I like can I have multiple pets?
Yes, but you can know it's like any good RPG, MMORPG. You can have different characters, but you can only have one selected in your game account and, playing at a time.
Amazing. Before we go into more detail about the game itself, what can you tell us about the team behind Genopets?
Yeah, we're a small but growing group, extremely passionate gamers and crypto nerds and artists and everything in between, technologists. We have a little over 2 dozen full-time employees at this point, spread all over the world. We even have been hiring directly from our community. Our most recent full-time software engineer is actually also a DNA member of our Discord community. So it's just been amazing to try to build this team. At its heart, we have three founders, Albert, Ben, and Jay. They have, decades of collective experience in product design, e-commerce, marketing, community building, all of that under their belts. Plus, they're all crypto and NFT enthusiasts. They've been involved since the world first started opening its eyes to the power of the blockchain. So we've got a very passionate team. Um, and I think we're at a good size now, but certainly we've been growing and we've been relying a lot on our community as well to help us.
Amazing. So community focused. I love the stuff that. It's the same as for EV Unix. We really try to grow a community and give back to the community. You know, hire from the community. Like have this amazing ecosystem in the community itself. And I think I like the sound of that. So, why did you start Genopets? What was the idea behind it? Right.
Yeah. In short, we wanted to create a game to incentivize people to stay active while also giving them the opportunity to earn and claim more of the rewards that they deserve for the experience and the time they put into the game. But I think it's become something a little bit more than that. I think at different points in all of our lives, and by ours, I mean the team, the founders, we've all felt like we could use a little bit of extra motivation when it came to staying fit and active. And also, many of us have worked in various gaming industries or media or tech companies for years, and we were attracted by the idea of using everything we knew from those experiences to build something that could actually be good for people as well as fun. So it's we're trying to do that by linking real world activity with the blockchain, and by pioneering. I mean, people talk about move to earn. To me, what's just as sort of new and exciting and also scary is move to play. Pokemon Go scratched the surface with that, but we're really leaning into move to play, as in, if you don't move, you can't play our game at all. And we're hoping that the game is good enough that it will make people want to move and do something that's good for them. So, all of that goes into why we do it and why we started it.
I mean, I myself, I'm a gamer, right? I think I will not over exaggerate right now, but 10, 12 hours I'm sitting in a chair. And I can feel it, right? Also, my health, and everything. And now if a game is engaging, and then wait, I need to move to play, but it's so engaging, let's go. I think you combine like really the best of both worlds. I love, first of all, I need to say, I love, first of all, the visuals. First of all, I say it again, first of all, and first of all, I will always say first of all. Sorry. But I
Everything
love the
comes first.
visuals. Yeah, I love the visuals. I really do. What's the art designer, if I may ask?
It all comes from the mind of our chief product officer, Ben, and our art director, Julia. I've heard it called Pokemon meets Blade Runner. If you've seen that movie with Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford, we haven't even started to scratch the surface here yet, but there is actually a very deep backstory to this world, to why the pets are here, why they are trying to pursue a better life for themselves. And that all feeds into the art, and it's something we take very seriously, even though we know that we could have made a game that looks like a much cheaper kind of cartoon game and probably done just as well from a business perspective. Like we still wanted to make something that looked sick, for lack of a better word.
Oh, and now you mention it, like, so the game will also have a rich story behind it, right?
Yeah.
Will there be a campaign kind of thing?
Yeah. So there will be a PVE element as well as a PvP. So you will be able to quest and go on adventures with your pet, and that will be a way to unlock certain items or earn certain seasonal rewards. And then on the flip side, everyone's familiar with battle. We do definitely intend to roll out a battle system, but now, caveating this, nothing's been set in stone, but the way that we've been discussing battle and designing battle at a high level, I think, is also going to be a little bit different from what people are used to when they think of a pet game like this.
Wait, can we get a teaser?
Yeah. So, well, Ben might be mad at me for revealing too much behind the curtain, but this comes straight from his own mouth. He is well familiar with the traditional battle system for these types of games, right? We've
Mhm.
all played Pokemon Red before. You pick a move, the other guy picks a move. In the back, there's a set of random number generators that determine your fate, and it is what it is. Maybe your move was super effective, maybe it wasn't, and you take turns doing this until someone gets knocked out. We wanted to make battle a little bit more engaging, but also asynchronous. So you don't necessarily have to be locked into your screen to be doing this. And what we've kind of landed on is, okay, to a certain extent, your pet's level and its power, it's the stage of its maturity and how
Yeah.
much energy it has, all of the usual, more traditional stuff is going to matter. But in terms of the actual battle, rather than just pressing a button to select a move, what we're thinking is a series of mini games, or maybe a battle is a mini game where you are basically trying to complete like a hand-eye challenge or a memory game and see
Ooh,
who
like,
does it better than the other person, so that even when you're battling, you're still kind of doing something beyond just like staring at a screen, and then you can see how well you did versus any number of people, and that's sort of where the asynchronous part might come in. But
I like
it's still early days design side. So if you have any feedback, please let me know.
I like the sound of that. If it's okay, we have one question from our community, or and
Yeah.
as well from the chat, from John Mack. So, move to earn mechanics, are they only limited to walking, or can you will be able to, run, jog, cycle, and so on?
Yeah, so we want to integrate all of that. We want to integrate running, jogging, cycling. We're even, dreaming of how we might integrate more sophisticated motions. Imagine if you could integrate, simple workout motions or something like that. That would be, I think, a whole new level of gamified fitness. But we are starting with walking, and walking is what we need to get absolutely perfect before we get start to incorporate other forms of activity. Um, so that's where the priority is. But to address again the heart of the question, are the move to earn mechanics only limited to walking? Not on the roadmap, not in our vision. We definitely want to utilize this framework to tokenize and commoditize other forms of movement for the player's benefit.
Amazing. Wow. Man, I can imagine like later on, hey, you want to sprint it out? Let's do a 100-meter sprint, right?
Yeah.
Kind of things as well. I don't know. So when we look to the broader picture, right? Okay, this is where you started. This is the road. But what is the vision? What are the goals for you guys?
Yeah, great question. We think about our vision a lot. At Genopets, we define the vision as a future state, so something that hasn't happened yet. We're trying to create it. We aspire to it, and for us, our vision is a world where anyone has the opportunity to enrich their lives through self-care. So, through engaging in an active lifestyle, it is a form of self-care. But the way we're envisioning that future, we want there to be other forms of self-care as well, and that includes other forms of activity. But maybe we can think about mental wellness as well, that can be put through this framework, through this game that we're creating, such that people can actually enrich their lives through the act of taking care of themselves. And when we talk about enrichment, people usually think about something financial. Usually when they think of play to earn, it's all financial. But really, we're building a gamified fitness experience that's trying to enrich people in a variety of ways through tokens, yes, but also through, the internal satisfaction and the social status that you might get with owning such a cool, evolving, valuable NFT, through giving you a virtual, pet RP gaming experience that's not like anything else out there, that's really unique. We're trying to give you a lot of different forms of enrichment, even just beyond the ability to earn tokens, because we strongly believe that fitness fi, or this whole category of trying to leverage these tools and these forces for the betterment of the community, has the opportunity to communicate the value of Web3 in a way that's not really matched by many other categories, that's fun and relatable to the masses.
Wow. I mean, and like you said, you scratched on the surface so far, right?
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see where this is gonna go, where it will be in a year, in two, five, like, and it really sounds amazing. So for me, now we come to the nitty gritty. Again,
Yeah.
gamer, right? And let's talk about it. Who can play this game, and why should they do so?
Yeah. I mean, who can play this game? Anyone. Anyone who can move, but maybe they need a little motivation. Anyone who thinks our art looks amazing. Anyone who finds the idea interesting. We're looking at a global audience that's beyond simply crypto native players, beyond just token enthusiasts. And we actually see this in our Discord community as well. It's very international. We've got just as many people from South Asia as we do, or very close as we do from Eastern Europe and South America, and we're growing in Asia and such. So we know that it's a global audience, and um, we're building the game to accommodate this. All you need to do, all you need to play the game is a smartphone We're starting with out with that simple step tracking mechanism, so we don't require athletic ability. As long as you have a phone, you can download the game and play and level up. And honestly, a marathon runner or a professional athlete is not the best Genopets player. The game mechanics are actually designed to reward, regular, consistent work and targeted goal setting. Everyone has the ability to earn if they play the game consistently and they stay active. So yeah, anyone who's interested in this idea, who wants to raise a digital avatar and stay active while doing it, I encourage you to check us out.
I do.
And you're very
So,
welcome.
thank you. So you said smartphone. Will it also be, usable with, for example, fitness watches? No,
Yeah,
these kind of gadgets.
definitely. Yeah, and if they already are, because the game utilizes the basic fitness app on your phone. So for Apple, I believe it's Apple Health, and then for Google, it's Google Fit. Um, and then your fitness wearable can link with that. The reason we focused first on that application as the integration is that most people in our community come from different parts of the world where they may not be able to easily afford a wearable or even a super high end phone. So we wanted to build the initial version of the game in a way that's, it can be played on a number of different devices, and anyone can really play it with any level of smartphone. Now, if you've got a wearable, it's probably going to be a more comfortable experience for you. It actually looks really cool on a wearable, but yeah, the main idea is to make it very accessible.
Amazing. I have a question about habitats,
Yeah.
but before we go there, there was a really good question from the chat. So, if this is a walk to earn game, the question is: do you need internet data to earn it, or can it be like played also offline, like to able? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, good question. So you can, all of the walking you do will be captured even if you're offline, because the fitness tracking app utilizes a pedometer to measure what is or isn't a step, and we are not utilizing the GPS in our backend. So yeah, if you just have the phone, let's say it's on airplane mode or something, you're walking around, you don't have internet access, it'll still track all the steps. But if you want to claim those steps, if you want to bank those steps and turn them into in-game energy, if you want to, claim your tokens in the game, if you want to battle down the line when we have that feature, then you're going to have internet access, obviously, in order to connect with our servers.
But basically, you can go to the mountains or wherever where maybe there's no internet access or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
It will collect the data, and once you get back, once you connect again, right, it will measure and see.
exactly.
Awesome. So NFTs, right? It's part of the blockchain. It's part of this gaming industry that we're currently in. What can you tell us about all the different NFTs in Genopets?
Yeah, so pretty much every valuable appreciating asset in the game is going to be an NFT, from the pets to the habitats to the different components. You've seen some already: terraform seeds, crystals, all of these different parts or elements of the game that can be used within the game are going to be NFTs that can be crafted and traded and sold, and we're doing that very intentionally. I think people have been exposed to a few of the NFTs that we've been designing already. That's been intentional because we wanted to get the community familiarized with these different types of NFTs in a more organized way. So obviously we had our Genesis Genopets. They were minted from Genesis Genopet eggs, which were technically the very first NFTs that we ever created. Essentially, the egg was your mint ticket to creating your first Genesis Genopet. And then the other big thing that we've launched this year is the Genesis Habitat. And we had a whole treasure hunt campaign that taught our community about the different ingredient NFTs that were required to put together, that were required in order to craft a habitat. And those were the different types of crystals as well as the terraform seed.
Wow. So Can you please? And I was curious. Can you
Mhm.
elaborate me more about the habitats?
Yeah. Uh, is there anything in particular you want to know?
So from the start to finish, if I get an habitat, what can I do with it? What is it used for? What are the benefits from it? And like,
Yeah. So basically, buying or crafting a habitat unlocks the earning features of the game. It unlocks your role as the player creator within the game. So now you have the ability to do several things. For one, your habitat will spawn unrefined crystals. These crystals, once they've been refined, are the building blocks for all of the other items in the game. So we've released crystals. We're going to release now a crafting tree that shows you different items you'll be able to craft using different combinations of crystals. So, for example, there will likely be an item that may help you get more energy or may help your pet, look a certain way. Like as we talked about, customization items and things like that. If you want to build those items, you're going to need crystals. Those crystals are going to come from people who own habitats who can refine those crystals and either sell them or use them. Your habitat also unlocks the key token earning feature, which I'm sure most of the play to earn community is extremely interested in. This
mhm.
is very similar to many earning mechanisms, but in our game, it all begins with steps. You have to walk in order to get the base energy, and then that energy can be converted into key if you have a habitat. Um, and that's essentially the base earning mechanism for the in-game token. And then of course that the habitat has a number of other features. The habitat will be the only thing that can create another habitat, um, and habitats will be able to be rented to other players uh, under different forms of contracts. There's a lot of things that we have in the works for habitats, but these are some of the um, initial set of features that we're trying to develop and release as quickly as possible over the next 3 to 6 months.
Okay, that brings me immediately two more questions in my head, right? So you said habitat. You said they will be craftable.
Mhm.
To be able to craft it, can a player, without investing, let's say, additional money or anything, create an habitat, or what is the initial investment for an habitat? Let me put it like that.
So I won't give away the specific numbers because I think we're still auditing them ourselves in terms of our modeling. But
Mhm.
generally speaking, you will only be able to create a habitat if you have a habitat yourself, or if you managed to secure one of the initial like Genesis habitat drops. So obviously we had the treasure hunt where we had 5,000 sets of crystals that could be won that were eventually utilized to um, mint the Genesis habitats. We have certain initial drops that we have planned with some of our guild partners. But beyond that, if you want a habitat, you're going to either have to already have had a habitat that you can use to mint a
Mhm.
new one, or you will have to buy one off the open market from other habitat owners who will be putting their extra habitats on sale.
So, and you said that you can also lend out because
or,
you've
or you can, yeah, once the renting contract is in place, you will be able to lease your habitat out to someone else, either to have them earn key for you or to have them craft for you.
oh, so scholarship model, kinda,
Exactly.
right? Because this is a huge thing also for gaming guilds communities out there, right? Scholarship models, and we see it with games like X and so on. I think it plays a huge role, and I can't wait. I really can't. There's two things. Actually, I can't wait that we come to the mechanisms of the game itself. But we
Mhm.
thought before, let's touch base on one thing. Talk about Genopets economy, right? How do the tokens work within the model of the game?
Yeah, so it's a dual token system. It's a earning economy that enables both free and paid players to be able to enjoy the game and also have the opportunity to earn. Free players can, earn by minting a baby Genopet, leveling it up and selling it. But obviously, this is a grind like many other free to play games. This route can be a little bit more arduous and just require a lot more effort over a longer term. But with a habitat, like I said, it unlocks the earning potential. It allows you to earn these key tokens, which are the in-game token, the in-game currency within the Genoverse. These tokens are necessary for crafting these items as well as I was talking about. They can also be traded among players. And you can think about that key token like SLP or like many other comparisons across play to earn. The other token is the Gene token, and that is our primary governance and staking token. I would say that that token represents more of a stake or an interest within the virtual economy that we're building. And so Gene is required for certain things, like if you really want to create, if you want to enter this economy as someone who wants to earn and who wants to create, these goods that can be sold and craft things that can be sold, then you're going to need Gene in order to craft a habitat in order to perform some of these basic actions. But the main in-game currency will be key.
Okay, but how can I earn Gene? So I know Kiwi earn right through the in-game activities. So is there ways? Excuse me. Is there other ways to earn Gene?
Yeah, so ultimately, the best way or the most efficient way to get Gene, in my opinion, is going to be to secure it through purchasing, or securing it through an exchange. But there will be in-game ways to get Gene. We intend to use it as rewards for certain seasonal challenges or competitions. We're thinking about ways that we can sustainably incorporate it into some of the PvE quests.
Mm,
At the end of the day, though, it's not going to be so easy to get tons of Gene from within the game or to even earn Gene, because we really look at Gene as a stake within the economy itself. So if
mm,
you want that, then you should really only be getting that if you want to invest or believe in the project long term, or if you want to participate in this economy as someone who wants to, be a trader, who wants to be a value creator, basically.
mm.
And so if you want to play that role, then we want you to have Gene, and you're going to want to get some Gene to get involved. But for the average player who's more focused on, let's say, fitness, walking, having fun with their pet, it may not be such a big concern. And for them, the accessibility of Gene is not something that they're too worried about, we think.
Yeah, you mentioned like maybe in-game events and so on. Will there be a leaderboard, like kind of on a seasonal
Yeah,
mechanism?
so currently there's in the private beta app, there is a leaderboard for steps taken. So it's been pretty popular and people have funny names and stuff on the leaderboard, and it's always interesting to see who's walking the most. So I think we're going to keep that and uh, retain a way for people to just look at who's walking the most and who's really doing well on that front. If you're talking about leaderboards that look at other statistics, maybe around battle or maybe around earnings, definitely they're in play. We are just thinking about the best user experience from a mobile perspective. Once you start to have too many leaderboards, we want to make sure you're seeing the one that is most relevant to you.
Okay, and now we come to the nitty gritty, where I'm really, really curious about. So, one of the biggest problems in play to earn gaming is the burn channels, right? The burn mechanisms, and having utility for the token in the game as well. So
Yep.
how does Genopets solve this problem? So,
Yeah.
if I may, I will just elaborate why. Just an example, right? Axie, how it started, when they started to add, remove earning mechanisms, then add more burning mechanisms, back and forth, right? And I think a very, very sustainable and thought through. I think that's the word that I'm looking for. Maybe you can help me with the word. Um, how is Genopets attacking this particular area?
Yeah, it's a great question. I can't say that, we've got all the answers, but it's certainly a very important question that we thought a lot about. and I can give you our perspective on where we think some of the dangers are and what we're designing in order to address that. So one thing I'll call out is that in traditional gaming, they never have this problem, right? So we're supposed to be so innovative, and we are, and we're doing things that haven't been seen before in gaming. But traditional gaming never worries about burn channels, and they never have to. Why? Because the whole game is a burn channel, right?
Yeah.
All you do is burn money in that game, and people are happy to do that. Why? Because the deal is I give you all this money and you give me an amazing experience. You give me the content that I want and you make me feel emotions, you make me excited, you make me addicted, and that's the deal. Um, it's only really a problem, I think, in play to earn, because in play to earn, many games begin by setting a different deal with their community, with their player base. The deal is not, I'm going to give you an amazing experience, you should spend some money or you should give me your attention. It's, I promise you can earn a lot of money if you come to my game. That's why you should check it out. And when you start with that premise, then you are building a dynamic that is almost entirely about how much value you can give the player in financial terms. And it almost ignores completely what the game experience is, whether it's fun, whether it's engaging, whether it's something that someone would even want to spend money on. This is one of the main things we wanted to design for, and it really, really hammers home to us the importance of making the game not just fun and rewarding, but compelling. It has to be gripping. It has to be a game that people care about beyond just the earning. Ultimately, the problem with burn channels, there aren't enough reasons for players to keep the tokens that they earn within the game, basically to continue to reinvest what they have extracted back into the game. If you don't believe in the game, you're taking those tokens out and you're selling them off, and you are causing continuous, devaluation of that currency. You can solve for this, we believe, by making a game that is compelling, but also by really designing this game as a crafting and evolution game. We know people want to customize, they want to accessorize, they want to personalize their pets. And when it's introduced, Battle is going to take this concept even further, because certain pets are going to need to be optimized for fighting. And then within our game, each of these effects, customization, are effects that are created by virtual goods that can be crafted and sold in the game. So if you want to make the big bucks in our game, you're not just thinking about earning tokens. You're actually going to want to use those tokens to craft these items to sell to the players who desperately want them. And that's really what's going to multiply your ROI. That free market virtual economy, where we leverage the fact that all of these in-game items are actual assets, and then we take the means of production, which is the habitat, and we put that in the hands of other players who care about earning, and we say, go, you play your earning game, the others can play their RPG game, and we create this system where everyone contributes and takes what they want. That's the dream, and that's what's going to create, I think, the pull beyond just earning, right? It's going to create a system where people can pursue what they desire. And with marketplace sales and transactions basically being the primary method for players to earn, it allows these earnings to come from external sources, from other players who have the disposable income to pay for the content that the player creators are producing. That's the system we've designed. That's the system we're trying to bring to life now, because I think just earning for the sake of earning, and having the earnings just circle back and forth into the same vehicles has been proven to not be sustainable.
I didn't want to interrupt you. I'd like immediately okay, player-driven economy. Can we say that?
Yes.
Completely player-driven. The market is then controlled by players, right? Demand.
Yeah, look, yeah, I mean, I can't say that it's going to happen overnight, but the way we're even building it now, right? You can only build a habitat with other habitats. The habitats, their main value, yes, it is earning, but really it's the crafting, it's the refining, it's the ability to create in-game content yourself that you can
Engaging
then
people,
monetize.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keeping them engaged, like you mentioned. I was scrolling around also to the white paper, right? And then something caught my eye. when I came to a section, it was battle and spectating. Can you
Yeah.
just elaborate a little bit, especially on the spectating part?
That's just one of our earliest ideas that's still on the roadmap. But really, all we meant was that where there's battle and there's conflict, other people may like to watch. So just thinking about ways we can facilitate that and really have something like team PvP or team PvE even, with the ability to share that content and have people observe, I think would be
Mm.
amazing. But I got to be honest, that's still a ways down after we've figured out battle and all that other good stuff.
Now, the more I start thinking about this whole thing in the idea, so I just imagine myself, right? I have this app right now. Will there be a map where I can see maybe there's some battles nearby, so I can actually go physically to them and check out the battle? Can I also imagine
Uh,
it like?
So that's a great idea. I'm going to write that down right now, and we're going to steal that. We haven't thought as much about how battle will be discovered within the map, but I can tell you that there is a map, a world, an exploration map, basically, and the first purpose it's going to serve is for the PVE element. And yeah, our CPO has designed it in a very interesting way. It's a hexagonal based map where the steps you walk and then the energy you accrue can be spent to explore or basically unlock different hexes within the map. And then that will lead to either quests or special items or a PvE experience. So that's how we're thinking about the solo adventure.
Oh,
Yeah, but
I
you can
want to
see
go explore.
everything starts with the steps. If you want to explore, you got to walk. If you want to battle, you got to
I
walk.
want to explore, man. I'm telling you. Look. For me personally, when I start playing games, I never leave. For example, if it's an instance based game, right? It's an action RPG or an RPG. When I go inside a room, I need to see the whole room, but I want to go more. I want to
Mhm.
explore more and more, right? And if you have, I'm gonna play the heck out of this game or walk out the heck out of this game. Let me put it like that. Um, Let me go through. I have so many questions. I don't know how much time we have, but what gives Gene token the value? Now, this is a good one. What is the role of it? Of sorry, of the it in and out. One more time. What is the role of it in out your ecosystem? The in and out.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Um, Gene, as mentioned, is our governance and staking token. It allows our community to vote on in-game decisions, or they will be able to when we have released the full governance suite of features. The token will allow them to gain access to early or special features. And the Gene token will also be able to be staked in order to earn rewards in the future. It can also, I think I can talk about this because the details of our staking plan were released, and we will be launching staking in the next 2 weeks to come. But basically, you can stake Gene to earn S Gene, which can be used within the game, even though you can't, actually earn Gene within the game right now. If you stake the Gene, you'll be able to get some Gene. So that's what, these are some of the special features and privileges that we give to our Gene holders. And that's because Gene really represents that governance right and a vested interest in the virtual world that we're building. It's also designed to be used in all the pivotal sort of player driven. If you want to be one of those player creators, if you want to be one of those value creators within the economy, all of the actions surrounding that are going to require Gene. But instead of being burned, which is what happens with Keep Token, it goes right back into the community treasury to be distributed later on. So this is creating in our mind a more sustainable token flow for the governance token.
Hmm. Okay, and Unix gaming, we also guild, right? And there's a lot of guilds out there. How do guilds fit in Genopets ecosystem?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I look at the guilds as some of our most important allies, especially during this initial release of the game. we talk about building this virtual economy, and I saw you nodding along. I think you understand the power of that concept, but it doesn't work unless you've got different types of actors within that economy. And the guilds, we're hoping, are going to come in full force as sort of the supply side of the economy. You guys understand what we're trying to do. You guys
Yeah.
understand the incentives. You guys understand the value of having a habitat in your hands, of creating more habitats, of getting the trading going and the sales, and getting people interested in this stuff. I think guilds naturally understand that, and so they're going to be our most important allies. And then as we continue to build out this virtual economy, um, you know the scholars and those who are interested in earning are going to have a lot of reasons to be involved and to be playing our game.
Okay. We talk about guilds. We have an amazing guild, and we have amazing people. There's so many questions. And there was actually one that caught my eyes, if that's okay with you.
Hmm.
So if this is from John RP, if this is move to earn, do you have a feature where you can detect if the players are cheating? Right. So what I can now imagine, okay, I have a phone. I'll take something. I put it around my dog. I take a, I don't know, stick, and I throw it, and he will run back and forth. Right.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's a great question. And one thing I've learned from the NFT gaming space is if there's a way to exploit it, it will be exploited.
We
So
don't call it cheating. It's exploiting, guys. Okay.
exactly, exactly. Survival of the fittest, right? You have to be resilient. Um, I think it's a very valid concern. We've intentionally designed this game so that it's not about walking the most. It's not a game where you win by walking 50,000 steps a day. It's actually better if you just walk like 10,000 steps a day. And if you do it consistently, you're going to have the best results. And the way we've done that is, one, there will be a daily step decay rate that makes it such that the energy you earn for each step decreases with each step you take throughout the day. So when you're walking your first 1,000 steps, you'll earn basically 1,000 energy for that. But when you're walking your 15,000th step, you're not going to get that one to one. It's going to be something closer, I think, maybe to like, a quarter of a energy point or a third
Okay.
of an energy point. And so naturally, by walking more, there's some upside, but it becomes so small and incrementally so not worth your time that the very mechanic of the game just kind of implements a soft cap. Now, in addition, this is for several reasons, by the way. It's not just cheating, it's not just earning
Mhm.
abuse. There's health reasons. If someone ended up walking 30,000 steps because of our game and they injured themselves, that would be one of the worst things that could happen for everyone.
100%.
We don't want that to happen. Everyone knows that being healthy does not mean pushing yourself or cheating or abusing yourself to extremes. So there's the health concern as well as the cheating concern. But yeah, I think that the decay rate is going to do a lot to just cap what can be totally earned reasonably within a day. But the other piece of this is that we just have to stay watchful, right? And what we can do as more and more people play the game is we can start to build the data set that lets us see what is normal and not normal behavior. And at least we can start to investigate this person. If this one person sticks out as a statistical outlier, maybe they're amazing, or maybe we just need to take a closer look. And this dual system is what we're relying on initially to keep abuse down.
So, is there a way for you guys to distinguish who's walking and who's running? Right. I think you can depend.
We cannot, but for that we rely on the technology of Apple and the technology of Google. So within your health app, there
Mhm.
is the accelerometer software, and that essentially relies purely on the motion and the speed of the phone. Basically, all of the data of all of the iPhones since the first step tracking app was invented has looked at what a step feels like to a phone, and they are able to define it. That is the definition we use to classify a step. If the health app is happy with it, then we're happy with it. And we're able to do that because we don't lean on the GPS piece. We're purely almost relying on the physical sensation of the
Of
step.
the phone. Yeah. Wow. So I'm imagining myself like in the future. I see already a headband, like armrests, maybe some bands around the legs, fully featured, like full exercise kind of things, maybe possible. I don't know.
Maybe.
But
Well, I was just in San Francisco, and I didn't know that some parts of that city are extremely hilly. And I was with Albert, our CEO. We were walking to a conference, and it was just the most steep hill. And we were telling ourselves, we have to make it so that these mountainous steps count more, right? I think that's only fair. The
yeah,
resistance should matter, but he was, he's always the technology common sense guy. So he was talking about how that might not be possible right now. But yeah,
but
I'm with
good
you.
observation. Good observation. So right now, there's no way to distinguish if I'm going uphill, downhill, right, or just on a flat surface,
Mm.
because it should count more,
It should count more.
right? Like a lot more in my case. But yeah,
Yeah.
um, it seems like there's a lot of different ways players will be able to play and enjoy the game that can lead to earning, right?
Yes.
What are the different roles players will be in the game?
Yeah, I think the beauty of the open economy, the player-driven economy that we're building, being able to combine that with tokenized assets allows us to really put value on any aspect of the game, right? So anything that can be captured in the form of NFT appreciation or an NFT itself, it can be commoditized within the game. So, for example, the pet itself is valuable. It has value. Some people are going to want certain types of certain looks for their pets. Some people may want a Genesis pet. They may want a certain number of pets. But if they don't want to do all the walking to level those pets up, then other people can be the trainers. They can do the walking for them and sell the pets on the market. You'll have people who are much more dedicated to crafting and unlocking all of the important recipes, or and they'll probably be more sensitive to what's popular in the trading meta right now. What items are very popular are these horn augments. What's really selling with the marketplaces right now? Okay, how am I going to figure out where to get those components so that I can profit? There's that whole element of the game that is made possible just because we're making this an open virtual economy. And then of course there's a lot of different variations here. You can have people who are just purely focused on leasing the habitat out for rent payments. You might down the line have players who specialize more in terms of battle, and trying to earn rewards or prizes through that mechanism. But I think I've covered the core ways to earn, and they're all connected to this economy that we're building. The ability to grow the value of any given NFT, whether it's the Genopet itself, or whether it's a crafted item, or whether it's the habitat itself, and to be able to sell that and retain the value of that transaction for yourself as a player. That's the whole point here, and that's why we're building it the way we're building it.
So imagine I'm a merchant, okay, and I live in New York City, and for you to purchase something for me, you need to physically come to near me in a range of 10 meters, whatever. Is that possible, or would you like to do that? I mean,
Sounds like it could be really fun or really dangerous.
but I was just thinking that.
But if you have to
Hold on.
run away, I guess that's more active lifestyle.
See, you level up your pets, you train your pets. No,
No, I think we're very happy with Solana blockchain. We
I
built the
don't.
marketplace for a reason. There,
That's actually that's actually my transition, right? So Solana blockchain. Why Solana blockchain?
yeah. A number of reasons. It's well known for its transaction speed, and we're ultimately building a game and a business model that relies on transactions, right? We need
Mm.
people to be able to sell, buy, trade, move their assets around quickly. And Solana's speed and efficiency there was super attractive. Now, it's some of that may come, people may say, with less decentralization, and because of that, because their approach and reliance on hardware, there are disruptions, and there can be things that clog up the system. A lot of pain points we can acknowledge, but I think more and more we're moving towards a multi-chain world, and we're moving towards a world where the consumer doesn't really care, but the business cares and the
Mm,
product developer cares. And when you are one of those roles, you are trying to find the right chain to meet your needs. You're not necessarily thinking about what's the best overall chain. And I think for gaming, Solana is very good for the reasons we've talked about. Gamers don't
100%.
need as much centralization, perhaps. Maybe they're comfortable with a network that is more focused on speed and efficiency. Um, but Solana has also been super supportive as a foundation. They have been investing heavily in gaming. There's a lot of other projects that are our allies and our friends that are built on Solana, and so it's been a great community as well, and they've been very helpful across the board.
Very important, very important. Um, what tell me about the roadmap. What is coming very soon? End of this year, next year? Some
Yeah.
teasers maybe.
Um, Before the end of the quarter, I will say, I think well before the end of the quarter, I think within the next month or so, we will have a whitelisted version of the app that's publicly available on the App Store and for Google Play. So that's the goal. That's the biggest piece of the roadmap. That initial release is going to have the basics of earning. It's going to allow you to earn. It's going to allow you to convert steps into energy, which can be used for either earning or leveling up. Basically, the fundamental structure of the game that I've talked about is now going to be available to the public. And then, of course, the reason we can do that is because we will have finished the baby pet minting feature, which will allow anyone to play the game, right? So right now, the only Genopets in existence are these Genesis pets from way back in the winter time. There's only a little over 3,000 of them. That's why it's been so difficult opening up the private beta to everyone,
Mm.
because there wasn't an easy way to get people more pets. And as we told you, we're not necessarily trying to just make up more pets and sell them. That's not our main priority at the moment. We're trying to get this economy going. And so a big part of that economy is the ability for anyone to start playing the game for free. And that is only possible if we have the baby pet minting. And that's a big part of what the next big release is going to be.
Wow. I can't wait, man. I wanna really go out and explore. I was already measuring me and my wife walking every day, 10,000 steps.
Yeah.
Because we're having walks, right? And now they will be more frequent, I think. I can play and walk at the same time. I think that's a win-win.
I tell
My
everyone,
book.
you can play our game while playing any other game if you want. We compete with no one. We only are here to, you know, uh, encourage you.
Okay, but I can also use a treadmill, right?
That's true. But your treadmill, the thing about the treadmill is it's so it's so dry, isn't it? At the end of a hard workout, all you see are the numbers, and maybe there's
I
some
know. But for
terrible,
example, I cannot go out with today. I have so much to do, but I need a walk, right?
yeah.
I can do something at the same time by walking. I can use my treadmill. So I
Oh,
need
you
to buy
mean
my
the
treadmill.
treadmill with the app? Yeah, you should
Yeah,
be able to, because it still counts as the walking motion is what's captured. Yeah.
amazing. Kevin, let me check. I think there's a. Oh, the chat exploded. I apologize. Treadmill is live. We have really some good questions. What are your expectations from the players who will play this game? Just to have fun, I would say, just to have a healthier lifestyle. I'm telling you what I heard from you right now, how I imagine
Mhm.
that. Have a healthier lifestyle, play an amazing game, and I need to say visually, you said you combine, right? Or you mentioned Blade Runner, but it reminds me also a little bit on Throne, visually with the neon
Yeah,
lines
yeah, yeah.
across it and everything. Huge fan. Anyways,
I thought about that
Kevin,
game in a long time.
do you want to share anything else you want to mention before we call it? Thank you so much, first of all, for being here. Is there anything else that you want to share with the community, with everybody out there?
Um, I want to reiterate my gratitude for having me on. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak about our project and answer the questions you guys have. Please stay tuned. If you're interested at all, come through and join our Discord. We have some huge releases lined up over the next few weeks and months. And, everything that I've spoken about really is the tip of the iceberg here. We are building very much in a open community sort of way. We regularly look for feedback from our community in terms of the decisions that we make. So, if you want a chance to be heard and if you want to weigh in on this project and something about this appeals to you, please come by and check us out on Discord. Otherwise, thanks for spending a little bit of time with me tonight.
Kevin, it was a pleasure. Everybody out there, of course, all the links to Genopets socials, to the website, to the Discord, to the Twitter will be also in the description down below. Don't forget, as well as everything Unix related. Kevin, we need to do this again, man. Let's do it again as soon as we have a big update. As soon as I walk my first 10,000 steps, I will have you on, and we'll talk about the next 10,000 steps. Okay?
Let's do it. Thanks, Elliot.
Kevin, was a pleasure. Everybody out there, thank you guys for joining. And yeah, we'll see you definitely in the next one. Bye.